All right, what's up, YouTube? In this week's video blog post, I got a very special guest for you.
Coming up right after this.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another installment of my video blog series. In this week's video blog, I'm here with Prince Bell, aka Urban Acolyte. He's got two awesome YouTube channels. First one is Urban Acolyte TV. The next one is Bad Mofo's Movie Review Channel. Look at the video description below for links, or go ahead and click the eye up there. I'll point you right to those. Prince in town this week because we had my Sifu out here, Grandmaster Sam Chin, and so we had an I Liq Chuan workshop. Prince came out to join us, so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about. Just wrap a little bit and get Prince's feedback, what he thought from the weekend. This is your second weekend workshop with Sifu, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, I should say thanks for coming on the channel with me.
Well, I'm a fan, so.
One of two.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think? How'd it go for you?
I thought it was pretty awesome. Always good to see Sigong and touch hands with him. Kind of gauge my improvement. This time I didn't want to fall on my face immediately after I touched him. But I liked the talk that we did Friday and getting to see Sifu, is it Ray or
Ray?
Ray. I was watching them thinking, man, like if I can move like that when I get to be Ray's age, like that's a bonus of studying this art. Is he's still and he's spry, and up here the stuff he's talking about, the Tao and Zen and just his insights, that I wish I were out here to hang out with him more, even though he lives in BFE.
Practically New Mexico. So I mean, you and I were into kind of like a lot of the same things. I mean, we're both into kettlebells, we're both into fitness, we're both into martial arts, both into meditation. So, of course, I'm a fan of your channel too, but we've known each other on Facebook a long time, and so it was like, well, I was excited to have you coming out for this weekend and be able to shoot a couple of videos together. But basically, what's in it for you?
The weekend or
all
training?
All of it.
Well, you know, I'm doing a real life Jedi series, and when I started Urban Acolyte, like the Urban Acolyte brand, the whole idea was I was on the street, like working my security job I used to have, and thinking, I want to do something. At the time I was reading all these Star Wars books, getting over my grandma's passing. And I said, I like this whole Jedi thing. How can I be like a Jedi in real life? And for me, it was the I Liq Chuan path is the most like direct way. Like somebody made a meme that said I used to want to be a Jedi, but then I, start training I Liq Chuan and his Sigong, a silhouette of him. We've got the meditation, and Sigong told me 4 years ago, he said, people get to level 4 and they're knocking it. Now he says 5, but then he said 4, and you can't advance unless you meditate. Like, you have to do the meditation as part of the curriculum. And for me, I'm like, that's what a Jedi is about. Like, you have to do the meditation, or the whole code, it makes no sense. Being one with the Force and letting it guide your actions. You have to meditate, but you also have to do the physical training. You have to put in sweat equity. And I said, well, with the fitness, I've got that. The meditation, I need help with that. Yeah, I know how to sit down and meditate, but I need somebody or a system to help me go deeper and to give me a reason to go deeper. You want to get better at Kung Fu, you got to meditate. And then the actual system, as I said, to me, this feels like the best art, and I don't need to go to China and study I Liq Chuan with the Mandarin teachers that don't really speak English. Nothing against them, but why go to China if I can stay home in the USA and there's good training here? And that's for anybody. Like, you don't need to look to China or any other country. There's people here, you just might not know about them. I think what really sold me was actually the first time I saw Sigong in person. Because when I had seen him on YouTube before, I see him, like, I didn't understand his Fa Jin when I think he demonstrated on some guys in Russia, and the video is not good quality. But I saw him. It looked like he just tapped a guy, and I don't remember. There's one of you. He tapped you, and you had a bruise. Like the guy, some guys in Russia, there were some pretty big dudes, and it didn't look like he really did anything. And I used to say, well, look at his size. Like he's stronger than people that he's practicing with. And then when I actually saw him, how fast he could move, and when I touched him, and to me he didn't do any. He just stood there like this, and I got ready to spin, and I just felt like I was falling in a hole. And I was like, he didn't do anything, and I know I'm not hypnotized because I don't play that game. So there's something to this. Before then, I was just kind of on the outside looking in, like, what are they doing? And this seems pretty cool. I'm cool, online with you and a few other teachers, but never really experienced it to that degree. So yeah, that now I want to know how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Well, I mean, I think that was one of the things that hooked me on I Liq Chuan, because it was like I think I said in some other videos that it's like I wanted to do something. I wanted like the whole package. I didn't want to just do like just a martial art. I wanted something that was going to have the philosophy behind it, the concepts behind it. I wanted something that was going to be able to lead into or like be a foundation for like a whole way of life, that not just like something that you go do like a couple times a week and then that's it, or you do it like on the mats and then when you step off the mats you leave it all there. And so that's why I was looking for something like I Liq Chuan, and I kind of knew that's why I wanted to do like Chinese martial arts, because like I got go check out our Facebook page for I Liq Chuan. We're gonna have some video coming out of my Sifu Princess Yigong talking a lot more about some of this like philosophy and stuff. And anyway, in one of the videos coming out, that he's going to be talking about like the true purpose of Kung Fu, and that is more than just fighting. And so that's why I knew I wanted to do like a Kung Fu, but at the same time I didn't want to just be dancing. I didn't want to be waving my hands around in the air. I want to do something real.
Yeah.
And so I had questions, and that's when I heard about Ray. So I went to meet Ray, and like, I like to say I'm a big guy, not with a capital B, but I'm still kind of a big guy, but anyway, and Ray is little, he's real skinny, and he tossed me around like a rag doll. So it's like I had questions, he had answers. He could touch hands and put, show where the rubber meets the road. And so that's when I knew this is real.
Yeah.
Right? It had everything.
Yeah.
It's got the philosophy behind it that's going to lead into, like, show you how to, like, understand yourself, understand your life, and find a little bit of peace, with that understanding. If not, like, to, like, the full degree of, like, okay, now I'm going to reach enlightenment. But at least in a practical sense, like I said, it's going to help you understand things a little bit better, have that better perspective. It's going to lead more peace in your life. But also had the skills behind it that, like, I knew that I wasn't going to be wasting my time when it came to, okay, now, come, I can touch hands, and then I can show. So that's where, for me, like, now I've been doing this for like 15 now, and no end in sight. I think for me, like, that's, because I don't know about you, but of course you start as a young man in your 20s. I'm 40 now, so I'm not like totally preoccupied with just being a badass anymore. So now that I'm a bit older, I'm not training it anymore just for fighting. Not that I was at the beginning, but that was more in the beginning. My emphasis was still mostly on fighting. But now that I'm older, I've been doing this for a long time, because it's like, really, like, if you're learning something effective, right, it's come back to like that 10,000 hours thing. Like, you don't need to be 10,000 hours just to be like proficient. You only need like 200 hours. You want to learn how to fight, like a 6-week class, like a 6-week intensive class should teach you the basics of how to punch, how to kick, right? some basic entries for things. Boom. Self-defense, done. That fast, right? Then you want to be like a decent fighter, right? Or especially like in a sport martial art context, 3 years, tops, 18 months, like, and then you should be ready, like, competitive at least, right? To start entry-level competitiveness. So, like, learning how to fight, done, quick, right? So why am I still doing it like 15 years later? Is because it's like what the hell was that box called from
Rubik's Cube?
No, the one from the horror movie with Pinhead. What the hell was it called?
I hadn't seen that movie.
But you know the one I'm talking about?
No.
Oh man. But
I don't want to know what that box is.
But the point is that it's it's like an endless puzzle.
Yeah.
It's like the further you go, the more there is to go. And so that's what still interests me, because it requires like such a high degree of coordination, and in order to have that coordination, you have to have that super high degree of like attention, awareness on yourself, that concentration, that, and then you can turn that back on yourself to study, your own thoughts, your own feelings on things, and how, like, why do I react that way? Why do I react this way? That, and then trying to, I guess, for like lack of a better way to put it, it's like if we want to get like into the whole karma thing and like the wheel of samsara and all that, okay, that's another thing, like getting deep into the philosophy. But for my level of understanding, my level of perception, like, it's like my vision doesn't go that far, right? For me, I'm still like, I got right now, right?
Yeah.
I got one life to live, and no matter what, even if we had multiple lives, like next life, I'm not going to be me.
Yeah.
I got one shot at this right now, like this formation of me. I want to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to do it right.
That makes sense.
All right, guys, that's it for this week's video blog. I want to thank Prince for coming on the video with me. If you want to check out his channel, look in the video description below. Click the I for links. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. All right. Nope, bad start already. We'll do it too, right? Like if you can't, you're in a crowded restaurant. Son of a bitch. Goddamn technology.